Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, February 3, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's like in your ear recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro model that came out today at 3:30 p.m. as well as the latest GFS model that came out at around 6 p.m. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here as we go out to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. And also keep your eyes focused right here on Jamaica as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens that represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. We can see that as we head into Tuesday morning is showing that we're going to be receiving some morning rainfall across sections of northeastern parishes once again. Then by the end of the day on Tuesday, some of this activity could spill into sections of some southern and western parishes. Wednesday, section of northeastern Jamaica again in the morning with some morning rainfall. Then central and western parishes on Wednesday afternoon. Thursday morning, still northeastern parishes. We're stuck in that pattern of morning rainfall across northeastern Jamaica, central and western Jamaica during the afternoon. Friday, we're seeing definitely something similar, but it's more confined to eastern Jamaica. Then spilling into sections of central and western Jamaica on Friday afternoon. Saturday, not much rainfall in the morning, but during the afternoon we see the greens represent some isolated showers. Sunday, what do we see? Not much at all, but we definitely see some isolated afternoon rainfall in the greens right there. Then we're back to Monday and we see that it ends right here at the next 168 hours. So this is valid for 7 a.m. on Monday, February 10, and we do see an abundance of moisture to the south of Jamaica, some of it across northeastern Jamaica. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, if we take a look at what the next 7 days have in store for us, according to the latest GFS model, we can see that Tuesday morning is showing something similar to what the Euro was showing. Northeastern parishes with some rainfall, then section of some southern and western parishes during the afternoon. Same thing for Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday, especially during the afternoon. Saturday morning, northeastern parishes, central and western Jamaica during the afternoon. Sunday, northeastern Jamaica, central and western Jamaica during the afternoon. And then we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. And we can see, just like what the Euro was showing, that morning rainfall, especially across the northeast, some of the activity across the southeastern portions of the island. We'll see exactly what unfolds either way in terms of the accumulated precipitation forecast. Both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall expected from now up until Monday, February 10. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be plaguing those areas that are shaded in the dark reds that represents 2 inches of rainfall. The purples into the pinks as well that represents 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall over the next 7 days should be plaguing eastern Cuba, sections of northeastern Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic for sure, eastern Puerto Rico right there, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique right here getting in on some of the action. So too sections of the Yucatan, Belize, northern and eastern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, western Colombia right in here into portion of western Venezuela. We also see a lot of rainfall in store for Trinidad and Tobago, eastern Venezuela, southern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana right here. And we notice that it's not only the GFS right here that's showing this, but even the Euro model. So especially those areas that are shaded in the dark reds, purples, and pinks, those places could pick up some amount of rainfall in the 2 to 4 inches range, and they could definitely get on some isolated flash flooding and maybe even some landslides in the hilly areas for sure. And if we take a look at Jamaica's precipitation forecast for the next 7 days, not much change. Clearly the most rainfall over the next 7 days seems to be plaguing northeastern Jamaica for the most part. Anywhere from St. Ann eastward, we're referring to St. Mary, Portland. Some of the activity might be spilling into sections of St. Andrew, St. Thomas right here. The GFS a bit more reserved with the rainfall totals going just all the way up to 36 millimeters of rainfall. The Euro going all the way up to 76 millimeters of rainfall. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and whatever happens over the next 7 days, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a ridge of high pressure right here to the north of the Caribbean, another one right here to the north of the Cabo Verde Islands, and we know they are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main Devon region into the Caribbean. We can see a trough as represented by the broken orange lines right here to the northeast of the eastern Caribbean, and to the north of that trough, another trough that was induced by a frontal system that stretches all the way up into the northern portion of North Atlantic. And we also see another trough right here extending off the east coast of the US down into portions of eastern Florida. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. First of all, we can make out the clouds associated with the trough to the northeast of the Caribbean, the clouds associated with the trough and the frontal system right here to the north of that, and the other trough right here stretching into portions of Florida. And we can also make out the low level to mid-level flow of easterly winds pushing those clouds from east to west across the Caribbean. Some of these clouds definitely have some moisture embedded in within them, and we can even see that upper level flow from the south and west pushing those high cirrus clouds off towards the east towards Africa. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, February 3, 2025. It was stated that rain was in the forecast for parts of some northern and eastern parishes in Jamaica this morning, and we definitely got on the action early this morning for sure. And some of this rainfall could have affected sections of some southern and western parishes during Monday afternoon. And just for reference, we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Ann, St. Mary, Portland. Southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston and St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. While eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? As early as 4:55 a.m., the infrared close-up satellite images were posted, and they highlighted the clouds that were pushing in from the east to affect sections of some northern and eastern parishes. Look at these clouds. I definitely woke up to some early morning rainfall in my portion of St. Thomas. Some of this activity definitely spilled into sections of Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, sections of Portland, St. Mary, St. Ann, Trelawney definitely gotten on some of the action. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. We can also see that the visible satellite images, even although nothing was posted during the afternoon, the visible satellite images definitely highlighted some activity across sections of some southern and western parishes during the afternoon. We can clearly see some clouds right here across section of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, southern Manchester, southern Clarendon right here. Definitely bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers to those areas. And we can see that the clouds were still plaguing northern Jamaica with some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers. Anywhere from Portland westward, St. Mary, St. Ann, even spilling into portions of Trelawney for sure, before all was said and done with the day, and then we lost the sunlight. I mean, look at that moist northeasterly or kind of east northeasterly flow across the island for sure. As usual, the southern and western sides of the island are dry with the moist here on the north coast with all of that relief rainfall. Taking a look at the infrared close-up satellite imagery, we don't see much in the way of anything all the way up until now. Definitely can see that most of the activity has now dwindled down. We can even see that high cirrus cloud that was once here dissipating. The more east southeasterly it pushed off towards, and we can see that that's basically it for the day. And if we take a look here at See Jamaica's YouTube channel at around, let's say, 2:40 p.m, we can see that it's a bit hazy in a sense, slightly hazy, but nothing too significant in terms of bad weather. Definitely just sunny and definitely warm for sure. We've been feeling the heat, but that's just the order of the days these days. Not much in the way of rainfall, but who knows, maybe that could change as the week progresses. We see what the models have been showing. A lot of afternoon rainfall definitely in store. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, you can visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel on YouTube. They have these live streams for your viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we might have had the rainfall today, especially across northern and eastern parishes during the morning, maybe sections of some southern and western parishes during the afternoon, but maybe not as much as what this map is showing at all. And we have at least one comment here from one of our followers on our threads page, where Verna.morris.336 stating rain can't too much for me, maybe confirming the rainfall in their area in the early morning hours. And if we take a look at the very latest still image from the Weather News website, highlighting what's taking place across Jamaica right now, not seeing much in the way of anything. We do see some milky whitish cloud cover right here across the waters to the southwest of us. Some clouds still left over across section of Portland and eastern St. Thomas. Some clouds right here to the east of the island, but that's basically it. And unfortunately, well, it looks like the Cape and Doppler radar is up and running, because we've been glitched out for the past couple of days showing January 29, but it seems to be back up and running. Hold on, spoke too soon. It seems to have glitched out at 5:50 p.m. The time is now 7:17 p.m. So it's definitely glitched out, but we can definitely make out some isolated shores right here of the western peninsula of Haiti. That's basically it. Taking a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station, we can see right here that same Doppler radar showing the rainfall off the west coast of the western peninsula of Haiti pushing westward. Who knows, maybe some of that might make it as far westward as Jamaica as the night progresses. Taking a look at the Cayman radar, not seeing much of anything across southern Cuba, western Jamaica, or the Cayman Islands. Just some dots of isolated activity to the southwest and to the southeast of the Cayman Islands right there. And if we take a look at See Jamaica's YouTube channel right here, showing Crossroads this evening, 7:18, showing a very busy Crossroads as usual. People walking about, going about their business, people in their vehicles going about their business, and it should be fair for the most part tonight, but maybe tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, we might get in on some more early morning isolated rainfall coming in. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, or where they should be getting as the night progresses, it should be around 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should dip down to about 23 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow. This map from the GFS is valid for AT&Z on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and you can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows and some slight oranges. That represents maybe up to at least 1, maybe close to 2 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of February across Jamaica is around 86.5 degrees Fahrenheit or 86.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's around maybe 30.1, 30.2 degrees Celsius at most. So it should be receiving anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees Celsius for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. And unfortunately, we have some maintenance outage advisories here from MyJPS Online's Twitter page. We know that we have to highlight these because the outages can definitely exacerbate the heat, because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we definitely have to highlight these. So if you have friends or relatives who live or work in these areas, or if you will live or work in these areas, prepare yourself for a power outage and let the people know what's to come. We're talking about Jocks Hall Estate in St. Anne from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. All of these valid for Tuesday, February 4, by the way. Buff Bay Valley in Portland, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Browns Hall in St. Catherine, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Aleppo District in St. Mary, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. West Kings House Roads in St. Andrew from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Longwood Estate to Boxwood Subdivision in St. Elizabeth from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Balcars Buff Bay Valley in St. Mary, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And finally, Milford Road, Great Pond, Dunsville, and Colgate, as well as Pyramid Heights in St. Anne from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Either way, if tomorrow is a bit too hot for you, we have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, when outside, seek shade. Eat fresh, try eating cold foods such as salads and fruit. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated. Even if you're not thirsty, drink lots of water throughout the day. Put away those sugary drinks, drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. That's the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And you can see that an abundance of dry air is plaguing the entire Atlantic basin, from the main development region to the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, especially right here off the coast of Africa. That's where the driest air is. But we like to see the slight yellows and the blues within all of that represent moist air for the most part, or the low end of the scale in terms of dry air. That's what we want to see. We want some rainfall within this dry season for sure. And we're indeed grateful that in terms of the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see Jamaica in the clear, much of northern South America, Central America, and North America in the clear, because all of the browns represent the Saharan dust should be across portions of the main development region. And we're indeed grateful that we're not seeing that vigorous plume of dust as represented by the dark shades of browns, because we know that can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can still see that the highest waves should be right here across the eastern portion of the Caribbean, well, the waters to the east of the Caribbean. You can also see the highest waves right here in and around Jamaica, especially towards south, where we have those purples into the pinks and burgundies that represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to 4 meter wave heights. We can also see that the least amount of waves should be right here across the Gulf of Mexico, with those light blues into the northwestern Caribbean, those dark blues that represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And if we take a closer look, Jamaica's north coast up to 2.1 meter wave height, Jamaica's south coast down to 2 meter wave height. And that's because of the waves or the winds that are expected. Look at the winds that are expected. We can clearly see more of a easterly flow stretching from the eastern Caribbean, curving southward into the southwestern Caribbean. So more of an east-northeasterly flow to west-southwesterly flow. A northeasterly flow across the Greater Antilles right here. And if we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica, we can definitely see the winds that are expected up to 20 knots on the north coast, south coast, 17 knots. We see for the most part it's coming from the east. Kind of looks like it's coming more so from the northeast, between the Windward Passage from Cuba and Haiti right there. Who knows, maybe we might just get in on some more isolated early morning rainfall, just like what we got in on last night across section of some northern parishes, maybe spilling into section of some southern parishes, because that's where we have that air piling up. That's where we could get in on the isolated afternoon rainfall for sure. And with the upper level wind still coming in from the west-southwest, would definitely favor more of the rainfall on the north coast for sure. Taking a look here at the actual rainfall forecast maps now. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 4 a.m. on Tuesday. And what do we see on both maps? The blues represent rainfall across section of northern Jamaica. So anywhere from St. James eastward could get on some isolated showers. St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland for sure, getting in on the rainfall. Spilling into even 9 a.m. we still have rainfall plaguing the north coast for sure. Then By around 4 p.m. now, we get to switch around in terms of the rainfall. We see the blues that represent rainfall right here across sections of some northern parishes, affecting sections of some southern parishes during the afternoon. We see the activity right here taking place across sections of some southern parishes right here in the blues. And if we take a look right here at the accumulated precipitation forecast for from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, we can clearly see that the most severe rainfall should be plaguing portions of some northern parishes, especially northeastern Jamaica. We're talking about those areas that are receiving those greens into the yellows and oranges, all the way up to 0.63 of an inch of rainfall across the northeast, according to this Euro model right here. The GFS showing all the way up to 0.4 of an inch of rainfall right here. Definitely a bit more reserved with the rainfall totals. We'll see exactly what happens. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. And we'll definitely take all the rainfall that we can get. We're in the month of February, and in February we usually receive up to at least 19 millimeters of rainfall. That's close to an inch of rainfall in Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, at the bottom. So we just showed Kingston's bar graph here at the top. Now we're looking at Montego Bay's bar graph right here at the bottom. We usually receive up to at least close to 3 inches of rainfall. That's about 74 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives for the month of February, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we can see the low level flow of the clouds pushing in here from the eastern Caribbean to the western Caribbean. Definitely some isolated shores pushing towards Honduras, Nicaragua as we speak. But regarding what's happening across the northeastern Caribbean, we can clearly see some amount of rainfall right here across sections of Puerto Rico as we speak. Some rainfall to the east of Antigua and Barbuda, affecting the waters to the east and southeast of Guadeloupe. Dominica getting in on some of the action as well. We can also see some rainfall taking place across section of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines. Some rainfall passing to the north of Tobago. Some of this activity might even be spilling into sections of Trinidad too. And if we take a look at the Central American radar, we can see some rainfall across sections of northern Guatemala, sections of the Yucatan, some of this action affecting sections of Belize. We can also see some action affecting sections of the ABC Islands, as well as passing to the north of there. And regarding where most of the rainfall is expected in the next 24 hours, both maps here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall expected from now until 10 p.m. on Tuesday, and we can clearly see that the most rainfall should be affecting sections of Belize, northeastern Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, sections of Colombia right here. We're talking about eastern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, the ABC Islands, sections of Martinique, so to Dominica, Guadeloupe, northern Puerto Rico, section of the Dominican Republic, eastern Cuba and eastern Jamaica. We can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.